Welcome to Messy Garage. Mainly because I'm cleaning. I added some shelves up there. Well, you can see it better from in here. Shelving up there to store all the stock stuff that I had, which was taking up most of the room back here and over there and all over the place. Anyway, so the point of this is to talk about my awesome wife. Don't mind me, I'm going to be putting stuff up there while I'm talking. My awesome wife, for my birthday, got me a opportunity with Xtreme Xperience to drive a 911 GT3, a 991 911 GT3 on a racetrack. And the track was AMP, which is why I wasn't able to do it until, was it June is when I did it? Because AMP is my local, I consider that my home track since I've been there the most and know it the best. Road Atlanta is actually closer, but AMP is more my kind of style, and I've driven there more, so I'm more familiar with it. So overall, the program with Xtreme Xperience was really good. I was very impressed with how organized they were. They had a lot of people. I was actually surprised at how many people they could have gotten through in a day with how they had everything organized. The overall things were good. You get the gist of it is you get 3 laps. They had a couple of different cars. They had a 991 911 GT3. They had a Ferrari 488 and a 458. They had a Lamborghini Huracan. I think they had a Gallardo too. What else was it? A Corvette Grand Sport, an Acura NSX. I think that was it. I chose the GT3 because I've always been a fan of 911s, but I've never actually driven one. I've driven Caymans, I've driven Boxsters, I've driven 944s, all kinds of stuff, but I've never driven 911. And I'm a fan of Porsche. I like what they do. Never going to be able to afford one, but I'm okay with that. Stock AC lines from the Mazda 2. Alright, that shelf is empty. So overall, really enjoyed it. I had one major gripe, not the fault of AMP or Xtreme Xperience, it's just kind of a victim of circumstance. When we first showed up, I noticed 2 things. I was surprised how loud the GT3 was compared to the other cars. You know, the Ferraris were actually quite quiet, as well as the Corvette and the NSX. The GT3s were decently loud, and then coming off of turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, I think it is, the one tight hairpin, which goes onto a straightaway, it sounded like everyone was short shifting. It's not like I'm an expert here, so I was assuming that they were short shifting. And I found that odd. Hopefully I can get all the bike stuff over there. Oh, storage space is nice. And so when it became my time to drive, I got a red one. To quote Chris Harris, I had Mr. Red. It was either Mr. Black or Mr. Red. I had Mr. Red. And so when I went to drive, the instructor that I had in the car with me, who was a cool guy, I let him know I had experience at the track, so I kind of knew what I was doing. And they definitely were going to let me drive it, you know, as fast as I wanted to. But you end up running into other cars because there's other cars there. You'll see that in the video. But he was telling me that the reason they had to do that was the GT3 was loud enough that it was in violation of the sound restrictions that they have at AMP. Those not familiar, AMP has, you know, pretty decent, I guess you could say, sound restrictions. They do it for to reduce sound pollution. They have sound meters all over the track on the edge of the property. So it's not like a lot of tracks where it's like, oh, just lift in this turn. So he basically told me, oh, you have to short shift coming onto the couple of places because of sound. That was kind of disappointing. I did get on it once because he told me coming out of that one turn and then onto the back straight. But after the first turn, there's a straightaway. So I got on it in like second on one of my laps. And he was like, oh, remember, you got a short shift. I think there's most people there wouldn't realize it's a straightaway. You can floor it and take off. So most people probably weren't getting on it like I was in that section. But overall, the experience was great. Besides that, The main takeaway, I dropped another screw. The main takeaway I got from it was to be able to compare, a 911 GT3, in my opinion, is like, an M3 where it's a performance benchmark of, fast track cars. And so I found it really interesting to see what is a fast track car like that's worth, 130 grand, balance-wise, in the handling and everything compared to the cars that I work on. The way this is going to end up once I'm done doing this, the Mazda 2, the Lexus, the Miata that I used to have. And overall, it actually it felt like just one of my cars. Nothing out of the ordinary. I felt super duper comfortable with the handling balance of it. It was, like, to me, the best way I can explain it is it didn't feel like anything special, because it just felt like all my other cars do the way I have them set up. Which is great, which is why I was able to drive it hard. There were two spots where the stability control and traction control were kicking in. Not anyone interfering. I mean, their stability and traction control systems are way better than what you would normally find. But yeah, overall, it was a really good time. It took less than 2 hours from the time we got there to the time where I was done driving the car, which was great, because then went out to a really nice lunch with my wife, my contribution to the day. So yeah, so now she bought the media package for me. So all the in-car, I got all kinds of in-car video from it. So unfortunately, if I remember correctly, the first lap, the video was kind of skipping a lot, so you don't have the first lap, but I'll post up after this everything that I did get, which was I think the second 2 laps. Overall, I think it's good that they did 3 laps, because for someone like me, by the time you're done with 3 laps, you really start to get comfortable with the car, and that's when probably bad things start to happen. So yeah. So enjoy my little bit of time with the GT3 RS. I thought it was kind of funny. The instructor was so comfortable, he just started asking me about the RX-7 in the middle of it. So hope you enjoy it. Actually,
up in here. Remember, we got to keep the noise down, okay?
oh, that's all right.
And if we catch up with him, he's just going to slow us down, right?
Sure.
So pick your spot just to lay back so we can get a better run. So it's balanced? Have you had to do anything else to it?
The weight distribution, it's only, I think, 53% front.
Huh.
Because the T5 transmission is really light.
Yeah?
Yeah. The transmission's only 75 pounds, so
Nice.
surprisingly light.
I like him a little tail happy anyway.
Yeah.
I can tell. It's funny guiding other people over that. It's like every time, the first time I put my hand on the steering wheel, I'm like, okay, don't move your hands. And they're fighting me. They want to bring it back to the right so bad. So probably lay back so we can get a better run on the straight if you want to do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I love the downshift on these things.
Yeah.
my job to tell you.
I know.
Steady. No, that's just my speaker.
Okay, I was like, this is radio going on.
No.
Yeah, I love that technical section right there.
Yeah. Coming off this time.
Oh, that's right.